making crispy holiday wreaths. I'm cooking from a different kitchen today. I'm in California, but that doesn't mean we can't do something Christmassy. First, I'm going to talk to you about the tools you'll need, and then we'll talk about the ingredients. It's a pretty simple recipe, so starting off with your tools, you'll need a saucepan. This size or even a little bit bigger will work just fine. Parchment paper works best. I wouldn't recommend wax paper. A spatula, and then moving on to our ingredients, we'll need marshmallows, butter, 6 cups of Rice Krispies, oil to keep things from sticking to your hands if you're using your hands, and then there's an optional tool of if you want to use a donut mold, if you have one of those, you can use that. I don't have one, so I'm just going to use oil and form them into circles today. Then we have our sprinkles, our decorations, and green food coloring. First, we're measuring out 3 tablespoons of butter. So I'm gonna measure that, and it goes into our saucepan. Light it and be very careful with the heat. Move the packaging, and we're gonna melt the butter. Once your butter is melted, you can turn it to a medium heat and then begin to add your marshmallows. I don't add all of mine at once, and I try to keep stirring to make sure that they don't burn. So keep adding until you've added all 40 marshmallows. So once you get your marshmallows to this kind of consistency, you'll want to start adding your food coloring. So add as much as you'd like. Some come with droppers, mine is a pour. I like them a little bit darker to make wreaths. It's a little more food coloring than you expect it to be. Once you're done adding your food coloring to the desired color, you can then start adding your Rice Krispies right to the pot. If you need to and your pot isn't big enough, you can get a larger bowl and put the mixture in there before you add your Rice Krispies. I'm going to add the rest of my Rice Krispies. I wanted mine a little bit darker green, more like an evergreen, so I'm adding the coloring as I go.
Go.
So this is my 3rd cup I'm measuring out of Rice Krispies. This is my 4th, 5th, and then 6th. And then just make sure you keep stirring so that marshmallow mixture doesn't burn. Then once you've got them in the pot, you can turn off the heat and continue to stir. Once your mixture looks like this, then you can take it, and if you're using your donut maker pan, you can pour them into the mold. I am not, so I'm going to pour the entire thing out onto parchment paper. Then I'm going to put some canola oil on my hands so that it doesn't stick to me, and I'm going to start to form my wreath shapes. Okay. So I'm taking my canola oil and I'm pouring it onto a paper towel that I'm pressing firmly against the top. I'm going to do this 3 or 4 times. Then I'm going to take my oil, I'm going to rub it on my hands. And then I'm going to start, once this is a little bit cool, I wouldn't recommend doing it when it's very hot because you can get burned from the sugar in the marshmallows. Then I'm going to take a ball of it and I'm going to form it over here. And I like to push my thumb through the middle of it or your fingers and pull it apart into a wreath shape. If it's really sticking to you, you can use more oil, and the cooler these get, the more they'll sit in the shape and the form you want them to. So it's best to do this pretty quickly after you're done, but not when it's hot. Perfect.
Action, go.
The fun part about this recipe is that you can make these any size you'd like. Now, if you make them smaller, like cookie size or the palm of your hand, you can make about 24 of them if you make them pretty small. I kind of like making some of them the larger size, and I made them so you can see them better on the camera. Now, before they completely get cooled, you want to make sure you add your candy now, otherwise they won't stick as well to the marshmallows. So you can use any candy you like. I have some Skittles here. You can use red candy for holly. So I'm going to use some red candies, some Skittles on my wreaths, and I'm just going to place them wherever I'd like. And then I also have some sprinkles that I'll be adding. Just like that. And you get to choose what they look like.
Action, go.
So here I am just adding the final sprinkles to my wreaths. And you can use any sprinkles. If you use the white ones, it makes it kind of look like snow. Or sugar in the raw works for that too. I just wouldn't recommend powdered sugar because it will make them soggy. Once you're done decorating, then you let them cool fully and you're done. Enjoy. Thanks so much for baking with me, and join me next time for our next Cooking Club box. See you soon.